story takes place in a small rural town on a warm summer day, shifting from Ethan's peaceful front porch to a chaotic fire at Miss Anderson's house. It also includes scenes at the local fire station and a training barn, reflecting the close-knit community atmosphere. Ethan sits down in his front porch swing, drinking cold lemonade as a warm summer breeze blows across his neck. He looks out into the town beyond and notices a thin column of smoke hanging in the air in the distance. He thought at first it must have been some forgotten campfire way back in there, but as the smoke becomes deeper and darker, he alters his mind. He gets up from his chair, rushes to his house, and reports to the parents. Very soon, they ring the fire station before he can take a second breath. The sirens are shrill at the firefighters speed into the location. When Jake and other firefighters reached the scene of the fire on arrival, it had rapidly spread and would engulf Miss Anderson's house. The flames lick at the walls, making things pretty hot. Jake knows they need to act fast if they are to save Miss Anderson and her home. He rapidly evaluates the situation and starts giving other firefighters orders. Together, they work as a well-oiled machine, attaching hoses and spraying water at the flames. But the flames are unyielding and would not be extinguished. Ethan stands behind the flames and sees how the flames ravage. Terrorized by fear,
He can see that Mr. Anderson is terrified. She stands on her front porch, surrounded by white flames. There is no need to think twice as he rushes into the house. He sees him and shouts with his head to stay back, but Ethan rushes toward him without a single care in the world and goes inside the burning house. He curses his head and follows him inside. The heat was immense, and so was the smoke that you could barely see it. But Ethan and Jake did not give up as they continued searching the house room by room. Looking for Mr. Anderson, they finally find her in the back bedroom, huddled in a corner. Jake picks her up and carries her out of the house, and Ethan walks out behind him. As they come out of the burning house, the crowd cheers. Mr. Anderson is safe, and her home has been saved. Ethan and Jake are heroes, and the town appreciates their bravery. With soot and smoke covering his body, Ethan looks up at Jake and smiles. He knows that he has found his calling, and he cannot wait to follow Jake's footsteps and become a volunteer firefighter. Jake looks down at him and nods with a look of pride in his eyes. That day, Ethan and Jake become one team, and their days were spent in the hot training barn, preparing for the next time that a wildfire would occur. And with every working hour, they knew that they were making a difference in the people's lives within their community, one fire at a time. The story explores bravery, selflessness, and teamwork as Ethan rushes to help during a fire and ultimately decides to become a volunteer firefighter. It highlights courage in the face of danger and the growth of a young person fighting his purpose through heroism and community service.